The book of Exodus is a pivotal book in the Bible. It tells the story of the Israelites' escape from slavery in Egypt. This escape was a miraculous event, orchestrated by God. The Israelites' journey to freedom is both physical and spiritual. It forms the foundation of their faith. The Exodus story is a testament to God's power. It shows His love for His people. It also highlights the importance of faith and obedience. The book is the second in the Torah. The Torah is the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible. These books are also central to Christian scripture. Exodus picks up where Genesis left off. It details the plight of the Israelites. They have become slaves in Egypt. Exodus then describes their dramatic escape from bondage. This escape is led by the prophet Moses. The book further narrates their journey through the wilderness. This journey culminates in their arrival at Mount Sinai. Exodus opens with the Israelites in Egypt. They are living in slavery. They had initially come to Egypt peacefully. However, over time, a new pharaoh arose. This pharaoh did not remember Joseph. Joseph was the Israelite who had originally saved Egypt from famine. The new pharaoh felt threatened by the growing number of Israelites. He feared they might turn against Egypt. Pharaoh enacted harsh measures. He enslaved the Israelites. They were forced to build cities and work the fields. Their lives were filled with hardship and suffering. Despite their oppression, the Israelites continued to multiply. This further fueled Pharaoh's fears. He ordered the killing of all newborn Israelite boys. He hoped to curb their population growth. This act of cruelty set the stage for the birth of Moses. Moses would become the deliverer of his people. Moses was born into this time of oppression. His mother, Jochebed, hid him for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she placed him in a basket. She set the basket adrift in the Nile River. The basket was discovered by Pharaoh's daughter. She took pity on the child and adopted him as her own. Moses grew up in the Egyptian royal court. However, he never forgot his Hebrew heritage. One day Moses witnessed an Egyptian overseer beating a Hebrew slave. Overcome with anger, he killed the Egyptian. Fearing for his life, Moses fled Egypt. He found refuge in the land of Midian. There he married Zipporah, the daughter of a priest. He lived as a shepherd for many years. It was during this time that God appeared to Moses in a burning bush. God called Moses to return to Egypt. He was to confront Pharaoh and demand the release of the Israelites. Moses returned to Egypt. He confronted Pharaoh. Moses demanded the release of the Israelites. Pharaoh refused. He scoffed at Moses' claims of a powerful God. In response, God unleashed a series of plagues upon Egypt. These plagues demonstrated God's power over nature. They also served as warnings to Pharaoh. The plagues included turning the Nile into blood, swarms of frogs, swarms of locusts, and a plague of darkness. The 10th and final plague was the death of the firstborn. God instructed the Israelites to sacrifice a lamb. They were to mark their doorposts with its blood. This would serve as a sign for the angel of death to pass over their homes. This event is commemorated as Passover. It is one of the most important festivals in Judaism. The Passover lamb became a symbol of sacrifice and redemption. Section 5. Escape from Egypt, through the Red Sea and into the wilderness. The death of the firstborn, including Pharaoh's own son, finally broke Pharaoh's resistance. He allowed the Israelites to leave Egypt. They left in haste, carrying their belongings and unleavened bread. However, Pharaoh soon regretted his decision. He pursued the Israelites with his army. The Israelites found themselves trapped between Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea. In a moment of divine intervention, God parted the waters of the sea. The Israelites walked across on dry ground. As Pharaoh's army followed, the waters closed in, drowning the Egyptians. The parting of the Red Sea became a defining moment in Israelite history. It solidified their faith in God's power and protection. It also marked the beginning of their journey to freedom. The Israelites were free from slavery. They now faced the challenges of the wilderness. Section 6. Covenant at Sinai Laws for a New Nation. The Israelites journeyed through the wilderness for 3 months. They arrived at Mount Sinai. It was here that God made a covenant with them. This covenant established a special relationship between God and the Israelites. God promised to be their God, and they would be His chosen people. The covenant was sealed with the giving of the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments were not just a set of rules, they were a way of life. They provided a moral and ethical framework for the newly formed nation. They emphasized the importance of worshiping God, honoring parents, and respecting others. The covenant at Sinai laid the foundation for the Israelites' religious and social identity. Section 7. The Golden Calf, a crisis of faith. While Moses was on Mount Sinai receiving the 10 Commandments, the Israelites grew impatient. They had been without Moses for 40 days and nights. They feared he had abandoned them. In their anxiety, they turned to Aaron, Moses' brother. They asked him to make them a god. Aaron, succumbing to their demands, collected their gold jewelry. He fashioned it into a golden calf. The Israelites began to worship this idol. Moses, upon descending from the mountain, was enraged by what he saw. The Israelites had broken the covenant. They had fallen into idolatry. Moses smashed the tablets of the 10 Commandments in anger. He then ordered the destruction of the golden calf. This incident, known as the sin of the golden calf, highlighted the fragility of faith. It served as a warning against idolatry and disobedience. Section 8. Constructing the tabernacle, a portable dwelling for God. Despite their failings, God forgave the Israelites. He instructed them to build a tabernacle. The tabernacle was a portable sanctuary. It served as a dwelling place for God among his people. The tabernacle was designed according to God's specific instructions. It was a tangible symbol of God's presence. It was a reminder of his covenant with them. The construction of the tabernacle was a sacred task. It involved the entire community. They contributed their skills, resources, and labor. The tabernacle was finally completed. It was then filled with God's glory. This marked a significant moment in the Israelites' journey. They now had a visible symbol of God's presence. This presence would guide and protect them on their continued journey to the Promised Land. Section 9. Exodus today, enduring themes of faith and freedom. The book of Exodus is more than just an ancient historical account. It is a timeless story with enduring relevance. Its themes of faith, freedom, and the struggle against oppression continue to resonate today. The story of Exodus reminds us that God is a God of liberation. He hears the cries of the oppressed. He acts on their behalf. It encourages us to stand up against injustice. It teaches us to fight for the freedom and dignity of all people. The Exodus story also highlights the importance of memory and identity. The Israelites' journey from slavery to freedom became a defining narrative for their people. It shaped their understanding of themselves, their relationship with God, and their place in the world. Similarly, the story of Exodus can inspire us to reflect on our own journeys of faith. It can help us find meaning and purpose in our own lives. The book of Exodus remains a powerful testament to the enduring power of faith, the importance of freedom, and the transformative nature of God's love.